How we doing, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Today is, of course, day 78 post-op for me from my mini gastric bypass surgery that I had on Valentine's Day, 14th of February. So you would have noticed, obviously, yesterday, Monday, weigh-in day for me, all right? So last week we celebrated a loss of 1.4 kilos, which did bring me down to 119.4. So we have officially said goodbye to the 120s forever. Thank you very much. So that is a total weight loss in 3 months now of 23.7 kilograms. That is just insane. 23.7 kilos gone in the last 3 months. So yes, that was weigh-in day yesterday. Now I did actually do my measurements on Sunday as well, being the first of the month. So I just haven't made my little image yet and put my measurements in there, but I'll pop those up maybe tomorrow night. I'll post those up. Definitely made some more big losses across the board. My boobs are still shrinking. I was quite happy to keep them, but that's okay. The measurements are going down, so I will pop those up tomorrow. Now I did mention last night that I was off to see the surgeon today. So just again a bit of a recap. Since I came out of hospital, must be just over a week now, maybe 8 days. I don't even know. A while ago now, I came out of hospital from my malnutrition stint in there. Have been struggling a bit with nausea and vomiting. The nausea, I went to see the dietitian last week and she suggested to me to be having 5 to 6 small meals a day, so eating every kind of 2.5 hours, just putting small amounts in often, as opposed to trying to put 3, what I would call large, which are still like only half a cup to a cup worth of food in. Not probably a large meal by your standards. Rather than trying to do that 3 times a day. So I have been doing that for a week now. Definitely initially helped with the nausea. I could definitely sense the nausea was coming away. It was easing off a little bit. It was still there, still definitely worse after I ate, but it was easing away, and the vomiting seemed to be getting less as well. Until about 2 days ago now, where it started ramping up again. Yesterday was by far the worst day I've had in a few weeks. I just felt so sick all day, to the point where I didn't eat enough yesterday. I think I only ate twice yesterday. Even just cooking my son's dinner last night, the smell of the food when I took it out of the oven, I actually vomited in the kitchen sink. But I couldn't. The nausea was just so bad yesterday. I hung in there though, knowing that today I was off to see my surgeon. So I did go to that meeting today with probably equal parts of fear as hope. So equal part fear was that he was going to say to me, the malabsorption is still obviously real. You have got back to a point of malnutrition and you need to go straight to hospital, and please do not pass go. That was my biggest fear. I struggled to sleep last night actually thinking about it. So much so I actually had a bag half packed in case that was the case. Because I honestly thought that's where I was. The way I was feeling yesterday felt the same as the day or 2 before I went to hospital last time. The nausea had got so incredibly bad that I was struggling to eat anything, and the head spins, dizziness had got to a point where I was feeling a little bit dubious about driving because they were so bad. So that was my fear. Now, good news is he did not send me to hospital, do not pass go, etc. I'm still home. The other part of me was hope. Hope that he was going to have a solution for me. Excuse me. Tickle in the throat. Because, of course, the dietitian said to me last week that there are 5 or 6 different treatments that you can do for malabsorption. 5 or 6 different strategies you can try to get your body to kick into gear of absorbing the goodness again. I think I breathed in dog first. Sorry, guys. I blame you. And we were trying number 1, which was adding the thiamine into my medication. A high dose of thiamine was strategy 1 of trying to kick the malabsorption away and get everything working. So in my head, I'm like, right, there is hope today. We're going to go and find out. This is obviously not working from what I can tell, my unmedical person over here. But from what I'm feeling, it's not working. So let's try plan B. What's plan B? No idea. Surgeon will tell me. Let's go find that out. So that didn't happen. I could tell it was a really bad day for the surgeon. He was busy. He was 35 minutes late to see me. There were so many people in the waiting room waiting for him that the next appointment that turned up was actually asked to wait outside in their car until more space in the waiting room cleared up. So he's 35 minutes late to see me, and I'm pretty sure I got taken in before someone that I should have been after because they thought I'd be a quick appointment, and I was in there for 9 minutes. He did not know when I walked into his office that I was the person in hospital 8 or 9 days ago. He thought I was there for just a standard 2-month post-op appointment until I told him actually I only got out of hospital, just over a week ago. And he was like, And you could tell he was doing that nod of, I'm saying I know what you're talking about, but really I have no idea. So I started telling him what was going on, and then he started to tell me that there is a drastic strategy they can use, which is sending me to hospital to put a feeding tube up my nose, and they could feed me through a tube, which is when I went, yep, how I got out of hospital just over a week ago, that's because you did that for 8 days. At that point, he pulled my file up on his computer. And basically, he reviewed my CT scan and reviewed I can't remember what they called it, but the camera that went down my throat. He reviewed the reports from that and said that everything showed that my internal plumbing was fine, that there were no strictures, that in terms of physically, my operation was a huge success. So he said, therefore, there's only 2 reasons at this point that you would be feeling nausea. One is medication. So I took my bundle of medication that I'm on, like it's ridiculous how many pills a day I'm taking at the moment. And he immediately pulled out the omeprazole. Now, this was medication that he put me back on about 3 weeks ago when we discovered I had the stomach ulcer. He said to me at the time that some people are more susceptible to stomach ulcers than others. Possibly I'm one of those people, hence getting one so early on. So put me on omeprazole and said, you're probably going to be on this lifelong as a preventative for ulcers. So he told me today that this is a chronic causer of nausea. So he's now told me to stop this. And I said to him I thought I needed to stay on it to prevent ulcers. And he goes, well, just stop it to see if it fixes the nausea. So I need to stop that now. I don't know what that means in terms of the ulcer. But that's what I'm stopping for now. He said if it is that, then 24 to 48 hours I will know. The nausea will be gone if it is that causing it. He then went on, however, to say that it's more likely that I have got back to a state of malnutrition. He said, unfortunately, the state of the hospital system in Christchurch at the moment is not good with COVID, and the last place he wants me to be is at the hospital. So what he suggested is that I just have to fight through the nausea and just eat. And at that point, I was kind of pushed out of his office. Appointment was over. I won't lie, I got into my car and bawled my eyes out. I felt brushed off, lost, and in dire need of help, and no one will help me. So after a few deep breaths and a drive home and chatting to a lovely friend, I emailed my dietitian this afternoon, quite a long email. I stated that my understanding of what got me into hospital last time was that I was doing nothing wrong. I was eating all of the meals, and both the surgeon that was overseeing me, the consultant at the time that was overseeing me, as well as the dietitian have both reassured me I did nothing wrong. I was eating everything I should have been eating, and I was eating as much as I should have been eating. What was happening was the food was just passing through because my body was in a state of malabsorption. So the food was going through and the body was taking nothing out of it. It was nothing my fault. They've reassured me that. I put that in the email. I said, so I do not understand how sending me home and telling me to keep doing what I'm doing, bar yesterday where I didn't eat enough, I'll put my hand up to that one, but a bar from yesterday, how is sending me home to tell me to keep doing what I'm doing going to fix this? I said, I'm a self-employed, single mum. I cannot afford to get back to that point where I need to go to hospital. It is simply not an option for me. But I feel like nobody's doing anything to help me. I was told that there were other options that you can try to help with malabsorption. Why aren't we trying them? What are they? And I said, you know, the consultant that was overseeing me, that is actually one of the owners of the business where I had my surgery, he was overseeing me in public because he works in public as well, and he happened to be the consultant on call. He was overseeing me there, and he said to me at one point that it's a shame that my signs were not picked up earlier so that I could have been, what did you say? That it wouldn't have had to have got to as bad as it got if my signs of malabsorption had been picked up early. So I put that in there, and I said, I feel like I'm coming to you saying that it's still an issue and nobody's helping me. So my plan of attack at the moment is to try and get some sleep tonight, sleep on it, take some big deep breaths. The dietitian typically emails me early morning. I'm guessing she does her emails early in the morning and then does consults during the day. So I expect that I'll probably hear from her in the morning. And then I might reword that email a little bit and actually send it to that owner of the business who was the consultant overseeing me in hospital, maybe asking for a second opinion. I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to. I'm not sure whether I'll get one. I'm not sure whether I'll be made to pay for it. I have no idea. But I really feel like no one's listening at the moment. And I totally understand that we're in a unique situation. I am totally empathetic to the fact that we're dealing with COVID and the staff thing. Like, I get it. Like, I'm a business owner. I'm dealing with the issues of COVID. My business has had to completely 180 degrees change overnight when COVID hit. Like, I get it. I totally get it, and I sympathize with that. But when you're the patient that knows something's wrong with their body and no one is helping you, it's hard. It's really hard. So that's how today went. It is not the update that I was thinking I was going to be coming. I was 50-50 that I was going to be coming to you from hospital tonight, or that I was going to be telling you what plan B was. Neither. And yeah, exactly, Nikki. I paid for this service. I paid just short of $30,000 to these people for this service. Just shy of $30,000. And I can give the surgeon ups in that he has said, like, he's a surgeon, right? He plays with scalpels and needles and stuff. All the checks that they have done, the plumbing is perfect. The surgery in terms of the way that they've rerouted the pipes is perfect. There's no issues there. So I'll give him credit to that. He's done a fantastic job, and that's amazing. But something's wrong, and I need to find help for that. And yes, I do have a chin. Isn't it amazing? Haven't seen it for a few years myself. Yeah, quite fun. I've even got these little bones here starting to stick out, which is fun. Haven't seen those for a few years either. So that is exciting. So yes, I am 23.7 kilos down. And as amazing as it is to be, 23, almost 24 kilos down in 3 months, I would put that back on tomorrow to have never had this surgery. That is still where my mind frame is. I am fearful that this ongoing nausea is something I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. That's a big fear of mine. because the nausea is affecting my mental health, because I just constantly feel miserable. And when you feel miserable, it's hard to feel happy. Wait till I see my fanny. Yeah, it's been a few years without needing a mirror, probably, to be fair. I'll hang out for that day. I actually read a post, totally off topic. I read a post on one of the bariatric pages today that people were talking about the mons and how likely it is as a female, overweight female, once you lose all this weight, whether you're going to have a saggy mons. Now, of course, a mons, I can't remember the full name for it, but the mons is that bit of skin just here on that pelvic bone. Very common once you lose all the weight for that skin just to kind of hang down. So you're not necessarily going to see your fanny anyway, Emma, sorry. The things I read, the things that draw my attention. Obviously with my job, Pure Romance by Marie, I'm like, oh, this looks like something I want to read. Anyway, Kate, you are nearly 3 weeks post-op. Hang in there, honey. You are still very early days. Your body and system is still learning what it's all about. So you hang in there and stick with the diet stages that your team have got you on. 3 weeks is still very early, and I have got every faith that you are going to be totally fine. All right, I'm going to go. I will make that image up and let you know all my new measurements as at the first of the month. Got some pretty cool losses there, and I'll post those up tomorrow. And yeah, fingers crossed, we will hear from the dietitian in the morning. Night all.